Why I left Grant? Well, as if you people would know. Just make it up as usual. Being thrown into the spotlight was, I don't know, it felt easy for me because I genuinely like people. You know, it was only when the spotlight became intrusive that it becomes a bit uncomfortable. Lordy Lord. Not on the cover.
In the heyday, in the 80s and 90s when magazines were big, she would have moved tens of thousands of copies.
Oh, I've got the worst hair ever. Look at that hairstyle.
The winner of the gold medal is Lisa Curry, representing Australia.
I think Lisa, in my mind, was the first swimmer to really be able to take swimming from the sports pages to the front pages, to turn yourself from a swimmer to a personality.
Their whole family became so well known. I think everyone just grew up with each child that was born. You know, everybody felt that they knew them.
Lisa and Grant split. It's getting nasty. My fingernails look good though. We would read about ourselves all the time. Oh, wow. Romantic reunion with Toy Boy. New photos. Some of the public are sick to death of seeing our family. They're sick to death of reading about me, seeing me, you know, like, stop hogging the media, all this sort of thing. Oh, cougar crisis. Oh, I'm not even going to read that one.
Many people looking from the outside in will think, oh, but Lisa Curry has, you know, the gifted life. She's had a silver spoon, and it's so not true.
Nobody knows what happens behind closed doors to any family. You know, it's not all rosy and sunshine all the time. You put on a strong front to everyone else when you go out in public. No one knew the struggles that we had as family. I think I've always tried to do a lot in my life.
Hi,
I'm Lisa.
I'm Bernie. Good to meet you.
Sitting around is just not me.
Yeah,
Wow, look at
likewise.
this.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
What a great setup.
It is.
I feel like I'm going to record a song or something.
Yeah, well, you could if you want.
Lots of people say, oh, I'm going to write a book about this, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to be an Olympic swimmer. Yeah, she does it. Lisa's not someone who throws the chat around.
Well, I've done many things in my life, but nothing like this.
Yeah. First time for everything.
Yep. My whole life has been goal-driven, and yet I don't have that at the moment.
Yeah,
I have to be like this distance. Memoir, 60 years of life, love and loss, written and read by Lisa Curry. Oh, it's funny, I don't read things out loud. There's something that changes in you when you lose someone. It's like your soul has changed. It's like you realise what's important.
All right, you ready? Go for it.
It's not about medals. It's not about records. It's not about success and failure. It's about, you know, it's about family. It's about love.
Losing Jamie was huge for Lisa. This was something that she couldn't fix. Yeah, she tried right to the end.
You have to really harden up.
I think it's going to take a long time, if ever, to truly sort of come to terms with it.
Do you have any more tissues?
She's very hard on herself with all of that, and Dad was the same. But Mum's a strong woman. Like, she will push through it.
Chapter 1, a good start. I grew up in Brisbane. My brother is a professional, famous musician, pianist in Germany and in Europe. And my sister is an amazing artist. And I'm the athlete. Sometimes maybe the only thing we have in common is our parents. As a child, I just loved being at the pool. And, you know, I remember one day the man there came and asked me just to swim across the pool for him a couple of times. I didn't know who he was, but I swam across the pool a couple of times, and he came and saw Mum, who was with me at the pool, and said, I'd like Lisa to join my squad. And that guy was Harry Gallagher, who coached Dawn Fraser. Harry said, Mr. and Mrs. Curry one day, Lisa is going to be Australia's fastest freestyler. You better get her teeth straightened because she's going to have a photo taken a lot.
She was a very versatile swimmer. She started out in early teens as a breaststroker and also a great medley swimmer. By 1974, her star was on the rise and she was one of the fastest swimmers for her age in the world. Lisa, she's always been supremely self-confident, even as a teenager. She knew exactly who she was. And not only that, she liked who she was, so there was no self-doubt.
I would say I was quite talented, probably not really talented, but I made up with that with, hard work. At the age of 18, I did go to Moscow and ended up coming 5th. So after I came home, I wasn't really thinking about the future. I kept training, not for any reason in particular, just because it's what I did. And they took us to the Brisbane Commonwealth Games pool. As it was being built, we saw this big hole in the ground and I just thought, I have to swim in that pool.
And here she is, she's coming into the stadium. The First Lady, Matilda. It's Lisa Curry, the Queensland girl, round she goes. She's got this shot to bits.
1982 Commonwealth Games launched her into having a very successful career in the public eye.
Look at the time. It's 2:15, 2:16. She's done a great swim. Lisa Curry first.
Winner of the gold medal is Lisa Curry, representing Australia.
I just love swimming in front of my hometown crowd. It's fantastic.
It was my first major win. The 200 medley was my first gold medal.
Lisa Curry will win it again, and Lisa's done it. Yes, Lisa first.
I saw Lisa for the first time when I was 9 years old. She was the golden girl. It looked amazing to be winning races and people cheering for you, and it looked like something that I wanted to be part of. And I started swimming the year after.
Her second Commonwealth record in the last 2 individual events. That lady there is going to take home a bag of medals.
I wasn't really anybody, but after the Commonwealth Games, I was somebody. I became one of, the poster girls, Lisa Forrest and Tracy Wickham, myself, the mean machine.
The winner of both the Open and Junior Ironman, Grant Kenny from Alexandra Headlands in Queensland.
On the last night of the swimming, Grant was being taken by an official to meet the Queen, and we crossed paths, and I went, oh, that's, Grant Kenny, that's an Ironman. I used to eat Nutrigrain at school. It's Ironman food.
And how do you feel after that this morning?
Oh, not too bad.
And then we accidentally bumped into each other at 5 o'clock the next morning at the Sunnybank pub. We were talking and he left to go home to go training. And I turned around and I said to my friend, I'm going to marry that guy.
A sporting phenomenon, Grant won 17 medals.
Grant Kenny was a star in his own field, star Ironman. He was the golden boy, of the surf, whereas she was the golden girl of the pool.
We tried to keep it, under wraps for a little while, but didn't really work. But I think life changed then. It became more public.
And tastes terrific. Stays crunchy.
Grant had been doing all the TV commercials for Kellogg's. Then I started doing all the TV commercials for Uncle Toby's, like rival companies.
I think Uncle Toby would prefer it if your mouth wasn't full.
If you make it to the top in sport these days, you become hot commercial property.
They were the marketer's dream because they looked so fit and healthy. They just went from strength to strength.
Grant Kenny, champion Ironman, and Lisa Curry, gold medal.
1986, I was 23, he was 22. We thought we were mature. And we decided we'd get married.
It was Queensland's sports wedding of the year. The state's favourite couple were finally being wed.
Your eyes. And then, the next year had a baby and it was just, the start of our new life.
Here's Jamie, 1 day and 2 hours old.
I thought if I ever have a little girl, I'm going to call her Jamie Lee, which is what I did.
Wave to mummy.
She looks like she smiled.
Wave to mummy.
She was a beautiful baby.
Lisa just loved every moment of it. Jamie had very many traits of her mother. She was strong-willed. She was very determined, even from a tiny little tot.
After having Jamie, there was no thought whatsoever about swimming again. And then I went to watch the World Swimming Masters Championships. And there was a girl there that swam, an American girl, and she was 33. And she swam faster than any Australian had ever swum in a 50 and 100 freestyle, my events. And I thought, oh my God, you're so fast, you're so amazing, and you're old. I said to Grant, I know I can swim fast again.
Titled Australia's Supermum, the song marks her comeback to competitive swimming. At the song's launch in Brisbane, an emotional Lisa played down her achievements.
And as far as them writing about me being a supermum, I think every mum is a supermum. And 17 days to go, I won't let you down.
Lisa says she's right on target to win gold at Auckland.
So I decided to swim and went to the Commonwealth Games in Auckland.
And here's Lisa Curry, this great supermum for Australia.
And this could be the realisation of a dream for Lisa Curry. Away.
To have a baby, and we know the impact that has on your body, and getting yourself back into fitness, into prime shape, into high performance shape is phenomenal.
2 gold caps of Curry and O'Neill are going to come in and turn almost a...
I was 16 at the time. Lisa just seemed so old, and the fact that she had a toddler at the Commonwealth Games, I mean, it was such a spin out.
O'Neill is holding the advantage over...
And I remember that the 100 butterfly, Susie, I knew she was fast, so I had to play with her a little bit.
I think she was quite good at psyching people out. I think I was intimidated by her back then, to be perfectly honest.
It's Curry now. She's taken the lead from little Susie.
My arms were just like, just got out of the water.
They're going to do the Quinella. Yes, Lisa Curry.
Just got to the wall in time. And it was one of those races where I was lucky.
Lisa Curry. Look at the time. She smashed the Commonwealth record.
Lisa Curry Kenny, representing Australia.
A wonderful moment in the history of Australian sport. Yes.
I won 4 gold medals and a silver. Like, who would have thought? Like, swimmers just weren't swimming at that age. And I think it was just also able to prove to everyone that it can be done. You just got to do the work.
When I actually got second to Lisa in the 100 fly, Jamie Lee was on Lisa's shoulders. It wouldn't happen these days, to be honest, but she was like with the team, sitting on the pool deck, and she was always sort of running around and was in the water.
She was around the pool all the time. All the swimmers, they all loved Jamie. Last day of the Commonwealth Games, I just threw my pill packet in the bin because I did what I set out to do. I retired again, and then I fell pregnant with Morgan, and I had 2 little girls. Here it is. Look, here's my very first medal. I won this when I was 10 for the 50 freestyle, Wellers Hill.
Lisa had an unbelievable swimming career. She competed at 3 Olympic Games.
My first overseas trip when I was 14.
Her career was 14 years long. That's such a long time for a swimmer.
I wonder if my kids will just throw them out. Better not. There was just that one thing that I never got, which is what I wanted, which is that just like one Olympic medal. It was so close on so many occasions, but, you know. After Barcelona in '92, I desperately wanted to have another child, and our beautiful little Jet came along. Because the girls were a little bit older, they mothered him.
Oh, is it kisses?
I think our family was very tight-knit. Our life growing up was just playing around in the pool with mum and dad and being active, being healthy.
Yay, Jet!
So all the kids, they all did nippers, they all swam, they all did gymnastics. Morgan was a really good gymnast, but she was very tall.
Hey, Morgan!
She started dancing. That was her passion. She just loved it. And she ended up going to the Moulin Rouge in Paris.
And Jamie, who's sulking and doesn't want to be here.
Go, Jamie.
Jamie, she was a fabulous swimmer. She was a national age finalist.
Jamie!
I had to make a decision between soccer and surf life saving and went the way of surf, and I've been doing it ever since.
If you're going to be rescued by somebody, be rescued by Jet Kenny. I was at home one day and the phone rang. It was John Howard. and I said, it's John Howard on the phone. And Mr Howard asked me if I would like an opportunity to work with the National Stray Day Council and if I would be interested in being chairman.
I thought she was ideal for that job. She was a young woman who everybody seemed to like. Sometimes I was disappointed with some appointments I made, but I certainly wasn't disappointed with that one.
The chairman of the National Australia Day Council, Lisa Curry.
I was in important meetings and I felt grown up. And but at the same time, I was just Lisa.
Miss Maureen Plazdic. I've been practicing that all week. I got it wrong. I'm sorry, Maureen, where are you? I'll come and see you afterwards. I have been practicing all week.
Part of the process of choosing an Australian of the Year was to have nominations come in from all around the country. And there was one from this young girl who said, I'd like to nominate Steve Irwin. I'd like him to win before he gets eaten by a crocodile. Now, at the time, it was funny. It's not funny anymore. And we chose Steve as the Australian of the Year.
Baby Bob Irwin is only 1 month old.
But then he held Robert while he was feeding a crocodile.
Crocodile hunter Steve Irwin has been criticised for endangering his baby son.
Is this too much? Dangling his own baby in front of a huge, hungry crocodile.
And of course, the media just went stupid over that. The public were for and against him, and it was just this absolute media circus around poor Steve holding Robert.
I would be a bad parent if I didn't teach my kids what was in the backyard.
So, unfortunately, Steve withdrew his nomination, and we thought that's okay. We could choose him the following year or the year after, which was not to be because then, tragically, he died. If that happened today, I would actually say, no, stuff the media, he's our winner, he's going to be our winner. I don't care. Let's do it.
Here's your leg. Lisa was always super busy reinventing herself, doing other sports as well.
Just come over onto the right for 3 strokes and then go back over onto the left again.
You know, all of a sudden she coached the outrigger team to be the best in the world.
Bury the blade, Steve.
Grant and all the boys were outrigger canoeing, so the wives and girlfriends used to go and watch, and we'd say, well, why don't we give it a go?
We're all going to go out, both crews.
We were absolute Gumbies when we first started. But yeah, once Lisa took over, that's when things changed, definitely.
Don't sit in the boat, get out.
I so loved coaching. Making one person fast is one thing, but making 10 people fast at the same time is a huge challenge. We ended up winning 4 world championships and I won the solo race myself. We had a really good time for, 20 years. Great sport.
Lisa Curry, Kenny. Don't go well, me.
Probably got snot all over.
This is your life.
When, Kenny?
Grant and I were together for 28 years, married for 23 years. It's a long time. It just felt like we were kind of going in different directions a little bit after so many years.
I was maybe 14 at the time. I remember them saying that they were going to separate. It was a bit of a shock to me. And then Mum went to living down the road, 300 metres away, and I'd be at home at Dad's and I'd just scout on my skateboard and skate down to Mum's for dinner.
It was an amicable decision, as hard as it was, but we're still great mates.
Now, Jamie, you're swimming, aren't you?
Yes.
How's it going?
I'm good. I just came 4th at Nationals.
Isn't that fantastic, ladies and gentlemen?
Jet was the most accepting. Morgan was upset but was expecting it, and Jamie was completely distraught.
Don Talbot's out the back, so...
Jamie's really sensitive and very fragile. She just took things to heart. She's a really soft person. So you had to be almost careful what you said around her. But round about 15 or 16, she swam very well and then she just suddenly quit because the kids at school started saying she looked like a boy and she had muscles, so she just quit. One day, Jamie came down and she said, "Mum, I've been vomiting all the time." I said, "Oh," like I didn't know. So that was one of the first times we thought, or we knew, that Jamie was struggling.
So when Jamie was in her early 20s, she told us that she had an eating disorder.
We saw doctors and the doctors would say, "Don't talk about the food because it's not about the food." And we'd think, well what is it about? How do we fix this? I knew Mark and Gay had 2 daughters similar to Jamie, and there were times when I had no idea what to do. I was at my wit's end.
If somebody has an eating disorder for any great length of time, they're trapped and they don't know how to escape this thing, this beast that's got them. So they turn to another addiction to soften what's going on.
The disordered eating turned into an addiction. So then she kind of had the triple whammy, you know, not eating, binging and drinking all at once.
It affects a lot of vital organs because your kidneys and livers aren't being utilised like they normally would, so they start to shut down. The deeper they get into an eating disorder, the more malnourished the brain becomes.
We hated that disease with a passion because we wanted our Jamie back. It manipulated her, it bullied her, it stripped her of confidence and strength.
Jamie was an amazing cook. She's an amazing stylist, photography. She loved flowers. You know, she could have worked for a magazine in styling, and she didn't feel like she was good enough at anything. She was. We could see it, and she couldn't see it.
It was excruciating for Grant and Lisa and Morgan and Jet and the rest of us in the family as well. Seeing some hope, you know, and then having the hope stripped away. It's really, really difficult.
Each year was getting worse. Grant has a really analytical mind, and I have a really logistical mind, and together we were trying to work out how to do what when. And we couldn't do it. She needed to go to long-term rehab, but Jamie was an adult. We couldn't make her go. For 18 years, it was like this.
They got a lot of help. They left no stone unturned, and they never gave up.
Hi, Marley.
So which puppy are we taking?
Mine. No. I wasn't interested really in another relationship. I just thought, I couldn't be bothered, actually.
Mine's more colourful.
Mine's pink. And then Mark walked into my life.
He's a performer. He is an Elvis impersonator and, covers a lot of other people as well, but he's incredible at what he does.
1, 2, 3.
Ha I win.
Yeah, of course you do. Go on, Marley. I think when I met Lisa, it was the connection, you know, the connection that we had. It was pleasant. It was really nice. Our conversations flowed and she was interested in me genuinely.
Mark just adores her and supports her in everything. And, you know, over the last couple of years where life's been challenging for Lisa, more challenging than ever before, he's been incredible.
We are so different, yet so complementary. You know, our love of vintage shops and 60s music.
Here we are.
It's adventurous, it's fun. The best thing about it all is the kids love him, Grant loves him.
I think he's been perfect for Mum. Like, they got married 4 years ago, and it's not every day you get to walk your mum down the aisle.
Your best friend and your lifelong partner.
I will.
Morgan and Jamie love the whole bridesmaids. They love the whole wedding situation.
Mark, you are the calm to Mum's storm. We know how Mum can be sometimes, and Mark just brings her back down to earth, and together they are just the most amazing couple.
Lisa's daughter Morgan had her first child. Flynn meant so much to everybody, and Lisa was a granny for the first time, and it really gave her so much joy.
Oh, having babies around is just so nice. And Jamie, she loved that child like her own.
Grandma shark do
Granny shark.
do 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 do. Granny shark do.
I think we were all hoping that having little Flynn would really just sort of motivate Jamie to get the treatment that she needed. But there was just no solving this for Jamie.
When Jamie was 28, 29, the doctor told us they'd be surprised if she made her 30th birthday. When Jamie's 30th birthday came and went, she said, "Mum, I made 30. She was so excited. But in my heart, I just knew that the hope was diminishing. But you never give up. You never give up. You never give up. You're always looking for something to turn the corner, because life can be beautiful, but they have to want it. The doctors said that her liver was failing, but in the end, it was multiple organ failure. If there was any consolation, Grant and I, we were able to be with her when she took her last breath. We were there when she took her first breath, and we were there when she took her last. Jamie was only 33. She had a whole life to live.
Put it in the little fairy garden, except the sun.
I haven't been able to talk about it because you can see what it does to me, but all I've done for 2 years is sit and cry and eat. You know, I feel like shit.
What's up with this ground colour?
No, I don't like it.
There's always those questions of what should have I done? What could have I done? Whippersnipping, I don't. And sometimes I just had to say, you've done everything that you could have done. So you cannot carry this anymore.
I'm still in a state where I'm still trying to work it out. Because if I can help someone else, if I can say, you know what, here's something that I've learned, you know, it might help another family's kid. But I can't seem to do it. It's annoying. If I knew the answers, I'd be shouting it to the world.
Hello. Hi.
People ask me what's the best thing that I've ever done in my life, and clearly it's having 3 children. And now having grandchildren.
Is your little baby getting bigger? Yeah?
I've had a great life, I really have.
Hey, Taj. Hi.
It's 60 years of life and love and loss.
Big cuddles.
The worst losses you can have.
Do you say yum yum?
Just lost Mum last month as well. So it's, you know, it's just hard.
Of course it's changed her. But see, I see Lisa as this person who's very resilient, and I just think that has helped her keep putting one foot in front of the other.
We all have to get up and continue on with life. We have to keep doing what we're doing, even when we don't feel like it.
Look at Granny's wire. Pop in.
I've got, you know, to think about my next 30 years now and what do I want to do with them.
Up, down.
I have every intention of being, you know, the fittest granny around when I'm 90. So I want to be here for my grandkids. I want to see them get married. I want to be a great granny. Yeah. And, you know, that's where I am.
Today, I love you more than yesterday. And yesterday, I loved you more than the day before.
Whose is that?
That's yours. And tomorrow, I will love you more than today.
Oh, I'm so spoiled.
I love you more than